And I think governments have to challenge the assemblies more. Some assemblies have the capacity to do it. But you see, I'm the DCE. I know Common Fund is coming. I've already seen it in the budget, how much I'm going to get. Where is the incentive to push my team to go out and do more in property risk collection? But if the conversation can be revisited in a way that the assemblies are challenged, of course, supported, definitely the property risk has potential. There are some districts in this country, probably they need less in Common Fund than areas or communities where we don't really have opportunity for property rates.
Okay, we're still trying to fix the Honorable's microphone. Immediately we'll do that. We'll come into it. But let me pick businesses' thoughts on the budget that was read in terms of taxes. Are you happy with what the finance minister, read out?
Thank you. Good morning to your cherished listeners. Well, I'll begin by saying that the budget looked promising. Even though we are not yet out of the hook, we still have concerns, but it looks promising. It's come across like a more stabilizing budget for us in the private sector, especially also because some of the taxes that we've always advocated about, as you know, has been taken off, like the e-levy, for example. If you follow advocacy, you see that most of our businesses that are SMEs really use mobile money for a lot of their transactions. So the e-levy thing was a big deal. Yeah. It was affecting them significantly. But our view is that the tax to GDP ratio should be worked on to increase. As it is now, it's about 13.8 or so, or 14%, but we should be doing about 20%. What it means is that we have to expand the tax basket.
But we've been saying that forever.
Yes. So, we were promised that
expansion of tax net, breaking in the informal sector, property tax, property rates.
So that's what I'm coming to.
Loopholes.
So you see, I know.
5. Every budget is in there.
So if you recall, when the Ghana card was being introduced, we were told that when the Ghana card comes into being, it would have the capability of allowing us to have everyone on the Ghana card, to pay tax. So our hope is that the Ghana card was going to be linked to the tax ID.
And that's what we do.
And then by so doing, you would get everybody using Ghana card to pay tax.
Yeah.
I am not sure that everybody with Ghana card is paying taxes as it were.
So there may have been the link, but the compliance is still not strong.
Yes. The taxpayer audit, which was a project I was leading with the Ghana Revenue Authority.
Yeah.
And sadly, we didn't finish. But there's a chunk of work that is linking the Ghana card, linking with people's businesses, bank
to
accounts.
Everybody.
Yes.
So far as you have the Ghana
and that's
card.
why your TIN is now your Ghana card number.
Okay.
But you see, it's a process which we didn't finish when we left office, and I hope.
Well, I'll ask the deputy current whether it's something they will continue. But
so what I'm saying is that we really want to see action in some of these things. Look, tax collection and tax mobilization has to be innovative. We have to find innovative ways of expanding the tax basket, especially in a world that is going ever digital, and ensuring that we are using digital means to collect tax. Bitcoin is a big deal. Forex trading is a big deal everywhere in the world, including Ghana. There are many people who are using these type of mechanisms. Who is sitting in a room to discuss how we can tax these people? I've seen Prime Minister Modi in India, put all of them together, find a very innovative way of getting them to pay percentage of their tradings and receivables. How are we doing ours? And so it's becoming like we're just having an annual circle of conversations about the challenges of being able to collect taxes. But the reality is that at the point, somebody must take the bold step to put some of these things into action. And as I said, the current budget appear promising. It looks like the team is keen to do something right, and we are happy to support and to ensure that they actually go all out and collect the revenue as opposed to worrying the few AGR members who continue to comply, and it become a sin to comply, because once you comply, they always come after you with padlocks.
Well, we'll look into that, but fortunately, the Honorable's mic is now working. You were taking us through the betting tax, what really it is.
Before we go to the betting,
You want to address some of it?
we were talking about property rates.
Yes.
Being a former DC who implemented property rates, it is something that I'm very passionate about. And today, I must say that my good friend Dr. Pabin is speaking more like an NBC man.
No.
Perhaps he's seen the light.
No. I speak like an MPP man who knew what he was doing.
I'm happy because I can relate with a lot of the things you are saying, and I'm happy that you have taken such positions. The previous government, I think 2-3 years ago, in the attempt to centralize the collection of property rates, I mean, I am on record to have vehemently kicked against that we feel that it is the responsibility of the MMDAs to do so, and that should not be taken away from them. And for significant number of MMDAs, property rate was the most reliable source of revenue for them. An assembly like Katamanso collects in excess of 4 million cedis in property rates, and that is huge. That is even more than the common fund that they were receiving. And so, and when they centralized it, the period that it was being collected at the center, they were giving less than 30% of what they were collecting on their own. And so obviously it was a very bad move. And so, and I recall that GIZ was so unhappy with the decision, because they had pumped in so much money in training a number of assemblies and deploying the DL Red for the collection of property rates. And so they have put all these investments in the process, have assisted some assemblies in the valuation of the property, because that is the most important problem, the problem that prevents the assemblies from charging a realistic property rates. And I keep saying that where I live, my own house, nobody has ever come to me for collection of property rates.
That's right.
Nobody has ever come to me to demand property rates from me. And this is conversations with people. That is what is happening. So what do we do? It is important that we have a broader conversation. Honorable Atoforsen, in the presentation of the budget, made mention of property, because it is an untapped source of revenue that we need to look at. And that is what we are going to work on. In fact, our approach will be to analyze the situation well. Probably GRA's involvement will help some assemblies. We may have to pilot it well and see what, because those that have been assisted by GIZ and have quadrupled their collections, I don't see why we should let somebody, a private person, just ride on this on the back of that and then take 30 or 15% of the revenues due the assembly.
You want everything to go to the assembly.
But most important point that Dr. Ampabin said, that I think we need to reiterate, is the need to let taxpayers, property rate payers, see what the funds are being used for. It is very, very helpful. Look, and I say this because in my constituency, there is a clinic in one of the communities called Kudikope that got deteriorated, and I went to renovate it. the community insisted that after doing all the work and painting the building, I should still write on it HIPIC initiative, because the original construction of that clinic
was under the HIPIC fund.
Yes, and it was during President Kufuor's time, and they inscribed HIPIC HIPIC initiatives on all the so some way somehow the community feels that HIPIC was beneficial to them.
Yeah.
And because of HIPIC, they got this clinic. So many years after I have done the thing even new, and I thought that I should put
the
something that would
still
give
to
me
HIPIC,
the
not
credit.
to you.
They still
Yeah.
wanted HIPIC on that project. That struck me, and I said, look, it is important we let people see that it is because of this that this project has been provided. So if in a community we show them that, oh, all these street lights that you see are because of the property rates you are paying, all the roads that, I mean, we have provided here is from property rate collections, that alone can motivate people to say, oh, we are seeing what the funds are being used for. That is why, look, President Mahama's decision to reduce the size of government, I'm calling for us to cost it and say that, oh, the reduction from 86 to 60, this is how much we have saved as Ghanaians. Use that money to do something and inscribe on it in a way that will let Ghanaians see that, oh, the opportunity cost of doing this is that. So if we decide that tomorrow we are going to increase the number of ministers from 60 to 61, it will be at the expense of one borehole. Or it will be, I mean, these are the trade-offs. If we do that, in the next...
Your budget is not a reflection of the size you're talking about.
It is. In the next
I'm sure
30 or 32 years, if you ever come back to power, you will not try to appoint more than 60 ministers, because
it's budget issue, not the numbers.
Will show you that, look,
it's been done.
When we reduce the size of government by this is what we were able to do. It's important that we show some of these things, and it will help.
So let's get back